The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space. Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Oxygen Not Included. We are also going to try and dig out the rest of the colony. No. Why do I have no music? You guys don't have music. Does Anya's music not run the entire time you're playing the game? Is that a thing I just never noticed before? I thought the music ran the entire time. Huh. Anyway, we are slowly digging out this area, including the little portion that we had right here. And that's just so that we can get around the dirty brick a little bit easier. We were also trying to get our wood system set up. So one of them goes straight up and connects into our base. The other one has to go around. We also need to get oil in here pretty quickly. So I think I might tell them to prioritize moving oil around. There's a lot right here. There's a little bit right here. We were trying to get that to a portion where we could, you know, mop it up, but couldn't figure it out. So what do we do first for today? Can I mop any of this? I don't think I can, but we'll try it. I can do that little bit, that's cool. A little bit there. None of that. Okay, we're gonna just cancel all of that sweeping. There's a lot of oil right here. I think I might want to make a way for all the liquids to just go to one specific place and just dig out everything to allow all the liquids to fall. If we did such a thing, it would probably be best to put it all in here, since this seems to be the lowest place that we have access to. So I would have to dig at least right here to connect it all in, and then over here we'll just go down another ladder run, maybe 2 ladders. That would be right here. That's as far as we're going down, just to right there. And then we have to make sure that every liquid can fall down there. We don't have to worry about this because that doesn't have any oil in it. We don't have to worry about that. Actually, we should probably. So if we were to try and get in here, how could we dig all this out? We could go like this. And then we should be able to dig that. We won't be able to get up here through this, but we should be able to dig all of that from here. Actually, we won't be able to dig that tile. So there's only going to be one liquid coming through here at one time. So let's dig that as well. And then all that's going to fall down here, which means we need to dig out that area. If we can, let's go over to here. That'll fall down. This is fine. We might as well allow this area to get drained out. Which also means that, let's just do all four of that. I'm not too worried about that. This is such a small amount of oil, I'm not worried about that at all. And there's barely any oil up here. There is a little bit, so I will try to mop that up. That's just from the slicksters getting carbon dioxide somehow. I think that's it, actually. And you guys can't get to here. So let's give them a way up. Now they should be able to get in there and dig out that entire area. What else were we doing? We fixed the oil in here. It was water, and this area flashed the water. So we had a little bit of steam going into our oven, which should be fixed now. That is mushroom wrap. Why is that sitting on the ground? Because I haven't picked it up before. Okay. So now that'll go into there. That means this can have mushroom wrap. We're going to turn this down to 10 kilograms. I don't know why it's at 100. All of these should be at 10. Because we're not going to need that much food at one time out here, and it also means that more food will spoil. Okay, how is this area doing while we're waiting? They're still changing out the aluminum radiant pipes for regular pipes, not insulated, just regular. So that'll get done eventually. We were testing out what would happen if the water in this was just a radiant pipe and it freezes. So we're going to try regular pipes and see if that will be slow enough to not freeze the pipes. Alright, they emptied everything here. So now we just need to come over to here and figure out how we're going to get down here and allow water to get out. If I do that, then we can stand here and here. So I'd have to do something like this, I think, in order for us to be able to walk over here and allow all the water to drain out. That'll finish over time. I'm not in a rush to get all that liquid contained. We did dig out a majority of this. Let's get over here, kill that slug, and relocate this to a place where they can't eat any meat. Let's relocate them to here. I do see that I made a slight issue here. Actually, I did not. Because we can open up all this, and it won't start the leaky oil feature. And now all of this is draining out. That's about to drop all the polluted water, so the water's going to go down to that point. There is flooding of this area. So some of the liquid's going in here. We should probably dig that out if we can reach it. We can reach it if we come in from over here. No, we can't. Never mind. We're going to have to put in some ladders. I'll just do two like that, and then we'll dig that out. There we go. Now it's all down to that. So now we should be getting the oil mostly coming out of here. Or not. I don't actually know what they're prioritizing there. It doesn't matter. We are still putting in the power here. Hey. What are you doing? Paintbrush is wandering around. What are you doing? Come here, you. Your siblings are at my feet. Get up here. You're gonna fall. Hi. What you doing? You gonna lay on my arm? Here, let me get closer so I can put my arm up and still be able to reach the mouse, and she can lay on my arm. What you doing? Hi. You gonna lay that way? You don't want to lay on my other arm? You're gonna lay on my keyboard arm? You can do both. Oh, now you're gonna go to the blanket. Okay. I guess I wasn't comfy enough. Or she's focused on watching the game. It does seem like she's doing. Let's do our regular pod. Ooh, grab some steel. And this is at 400. I kind of need this higher priority so that they do that. And we are still going up in food, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away all of this. Actually, let's cancel that because I didn't put this on buildings only. Now I can cancel all of it. And we'll put this on gas. So, while they're doing all that, how has everyone's weekend been so far? I don't know if anyone else other than Gino had said hi to Southern Finn in Piku's channel. Alright. They have a majority of this ready. So dig out all of that and all of this. Queue up those two ladders. And deconstruct these two. Or these three. Also missed a few ladders right there and there. They can get over here, so let's deconstruct all these ladders. Alright, this area is looking good. We also have access to this now, because we can get down in there. And... Our Cobalt Volcano is going to go off soon. We'll have a little bit extra cobalt from that. Upgrade some more wires. What else before we start playing something else? Steel. We have quite a bit of steel. And I can't see through paintbrush. So right here. Is it 5? It might be 5. I thought it was just 4. It is 5. Wow, look at that. Alright, and then how many coal generators can I do? They're also 800. So I can only do 1. We'll wait to do that. What we're not going to wait to do is put in all of these. So what I do for this is 3, 1. I go here. and here. That will put the coal into the generators immediately. We also need to do this, and I just put it right next to it. Oh, that's an issue for right there. Easiest way to fix that, just put a bridge over it. Now this is coming in, so we need to go that way. So we'll go like that for now. Alright, do we have cobalt ore enough to do this? I can probably connect that all in. I don't think I can do the rest of the run, though. Let's see how far I can get. If I go all the way down to here, leaves me with 2,000. I don't think that's enough to do this. I'm just gonna let it do that weird looking line. Nope, definitely not enough for all that. Cancel that. Alright, and how are they doing over here? Oh, this is enough. Okay, so it looks like I have to put that on a 9 for them to actually do it as quickly as I need them to do it. And we are going to do something that I don't usually do. I'm going to put a gas pump in here that stays there. Because this seems like it may fill with chlorine occasionally. Oh wait, no, we were bringing chlorine over here by pipe. Or by conveyor. So we don't need to have it actually connected in forever. But until we get the puffs up and running, we're gonna have it like this. If that's gonna keep happening, is there a way that I could just have it drop into the liquid and then not have to worry about it? You take chlorine. Or, sorry, bleach stone. You should be able to pick up and drop off. Ooh. If we move this over to, like, right here, we can drop off both bleachstone and slime right into here. And then this auto sweeper can pick up the slime, put it in here, and into those. Unless I need to reach this tile. We do need this tile to keep liquids from being pushed around by gases, but we don't need this much liquid. So we could change that around later on. Alright, what else are we doing? Eventually this is going to be opened up, so we don't have to worry about that staying a vacuum. We do need to find a way to make this a double liquid lock. It should be easy, I just have to move things over. Trying to think of what the easiest way would do that would be. First step would be deconstruct this. Since these take power... Oh, it's on this line, so we don't have to worry about it. Alright, we're gonna connect that in. Why was that made out of iron? I'm assuming because I knew it was temporary. Are all 3 kittens gonna sleep in the same spot? They are, that's adorable. All 3 of them were at my feet. Alright, if I move these over 3, let's do the math on this. I would have to go here, 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 here. They don't have to move over at all. What am I doing then? I would just have to move the auto sweeper. Which is only here to pick up food from over here, if there's any meat that drops in. So let's deconstruct this for a second. This I'm gonna move over 1, so that there's still airflow. Except for the fact that that actually has to get moved, or another tile. It is really loud in that area. I think I might have to turn down the game volume again. Because it seems loud for you guys as well. Let's turn this down to 60. That should be a little bit better. Are they fighting or trying to sleep? What are you doing? Not sure what they were trying to do. So if we go there, we would have to put the auto sweeper here. Just to be able to grab everything. And I'm just gonna go straight down here and go in. Instead of trying to hide the cord. Deconstruct that. This one we can make out of water, because it doesn't matter how hot it gets. We are gonna have to vacuum out this area, though. And I think I may want to cut this off and put it on these like it was. Because it seems like the oxygen just not getting to that. So if I go like that and we just disconnect that for now, it'll be able to fill up by a 50-50 split while it's doing that. This area is getting pretty done, or done pretty quickly, I mean. Let's tell them to start putting oil in here so that we can get that emptied out. Speaking of emptying out, we should probably tell them to pick up all the debris in here. I think I might wait. And should I just open this up and let all the gases come out through the top? I think I will, just to make this a little bit quicker to drain out. So this should be climbing, and then carbon dioxide's gonna end up climbing out of here. Alright, we do have oil going in. They're doing all the conveyor rails as well. We need cobalt ore. There's a bunch right here, where we're making our way down to. So let's... Did I move? No, that ladder is just in the wrong spot. So if I go there, and then we go this way, that should get us to most of the cobalt, and we just have to dig down or dig up to certain spots. The oil reservoirs are not in the same spot here, so I'm gonna have to get oil from this area, which has a volcano in the center of it. Did they move the egg up here? They did, okay. Did they make one of these yet? No. They're having an issue because this isn't a full ranch yet. No, why are they not making eggs as quickly as they should be? Mood glum. His needs aren't being met. Creating more but they have food right here. I am confused there. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, this is on a 7. They just haven't gotten around to doing it. That should help clean out the base eventually. I'm gonna tell them to dig out all of this so they can put in those ladders. I can tell that the carbon dioxide's already rising because the chlorine's getting up to this point. We're gonna have a little bit of trouble trying to get this out because it's a small area, but it shouldn't be too difficult to do. Is this low enough to mop? It is. We can deconstruct that then. Let's come to here because I know that's ready. This is also ready. This whole area is ready. And I'm gonna assume that this is ready because it's one tile there. Then we just have all of this. All this stuff that's mixed together. So I'm thinking we may dig down in here, get this entire biome open, and allow all the liquids to fill into that one. Or we could do it all in here. I think this would be easier to dig compared to this where it's all over the place. Although the other one is already dug out mostly. Let's do this biome instead. So if I make a way for us to just dig ourselves down to here, I would have to go here. Just like this. That doesn't have anything. Okay, so I would need a ladder going down to this point at least. Okay, and then... Oh, I miscounted that. That's just to get to the bottom. I would still need all the ladders going across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 5. 5 starting there. Right. I got it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And that's another 5. I'm gonna get rid of that one ladder. This all the way over, and then we should be able to dig out all of this with this ladder. We're also going to get a little bit of igneous rock while we're doing this. Okay, we'll wait to do all that. We're still trying to get this stuff. Oh, that's true. There's oil in here. We should probably also allow it to escape. How much oil got in here? almost enough for it to block up here. Carbon dioxide is now about 2 tiles high on the petroleum generators, so this is getting worked out. Oh. I now have a kitten on both sides of my feet. I just went to move my feet over a little bit, and I bumped into another kitten. Do I start digging out this entire side as well? Well, since we have all of our food taken out of here, we don't need this area set up the way that it is. So let's use this ladder run to go all the way up here. And mine out this area. 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, we don't need all of those ladders, we just need those ladders. That should allow us to get all of this out. I think I'm actually... No, we are going to put ladders. We're going to need them eventually anyway. That all the way over to there, this to here, this to there, even though we don't really need those. Cancel some of the ones we don't need. Okay, and then this would line up with that. I am going to put that line in. Connect that all the way over. I don't know how much igneous rock I'm burning through right now. Should probably not do more than what we just laid out. But that allows us to dig out this entire spot. And then we're almost done with everything over here. Alright, why is there water in here? Maybe off this? I don't know, but we're getting rid of it. Because that's going to get in the way of the oil. Especially with them putting another bottle in. You can cancel that now. Okay, now we're just waiting for it to expand a little bit. And ignoring the slickster areas, there shouldn't be any oil anywhere else. Why do you guys have oil right here? I don't think there was any carbon dioxide there, but we'll mop it up anyway. Up here, they definitely don't have carbon dioxide. And I am checking the different areas. This is a bunch of carbon dioxide that they can drink from, so I'm not going to worry about that area. If anything, it'll just drip down into here. We'll pick it up later. Other stuff. Most of it should be at the bottom now. There is a little bit right here. Let's dig this out. And I don't think we can reach that, so let's do those two. I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Oh, I see that salt water starting to move over. So that's filling in somewhere. And just when I thought we had all the oil going down, they found another spot to wait in. Thankfully, Gino's over here digging it out. Oh, actually, that's Sophie. Sorry, Sophie, I gave all the credit to Gino. Alright, they have a lot of ladders to work out. Let's start planning the Sulfur Geyser. Now, what I have is pictures on how to do everything on my phone. So just give me one moment to find them. They would be in this folder. That's the petroleum generator. The spam I used to make. Oh, here's how I used to do steel production, where everything was automated and didn't take any duplicates to move stuff. Here is the Sulfur Geyser. So if I keep this here... We're going to start with the insulated tiles, just so that I can map everything out. And that is 4 tiles high, so 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way to there, all the way to here. And then we're going to have to count this out. So starting right here, there is 2 tiles, 2 tiles, 1, 2 again, and then that's the wall. Then there is a 3 deep tile pit, bringing it all the way back to here. This is all going to be filled with water, like I said, and we just have to get into here. Let's not take that apart unless this is dormant. And we'll connect it in by ladder. We are going to have to vacuum this out, but that should be easy to do later on. We want to get this prepared so that we can get all the liquid into there and have it cooling down. We're going to reject all of that. How am I going to cool this area? If I look at this... Oh, last time I cooled it down, I put a steam room right here. So that's what we're going to do again. And the last time I played this map, we had this oil reservoir, there was one way over here, and there was one right here. And those two are not there anymore. These were always there, though. So these 3 oil reservoirs are guaranteed to be there every time you load this map. So I think what we're going to do is build a room around this volcano and have this as our natural gas room. We'll have to build that later on. We still need to find the geyser of water for that. Can I see that in this? I cannot, but what I can see... Oh, I can actually see the water geyser. It should be right in here. If this is 1 ladder run, it's 2 down and a little bit to the right. So it's right here in this blacked area. Then we have another steam vent right here. And I could have sworn that I saw a slug over here. I did, right here. Oh, there's more cobalt. We might go over there to get cobalt. Alright, what are they currently doing? Probably this. We're gonna need a way to get up and over it. So let's do a little bit of this. Oh, they probably are overfilling this. Oh, they could actually use one more bottle. So I'll let them keep doing that. Other stuff they're doing, they're not really doing the ladders here yet. They are doing the ladders, never mind. Could be doing all of this as well. Let's dig this out so that they have the next thing they work towards. And since we're doing stuff here, I'm also going to tell them to dig this out as well. That should be enough to keep them from building themselves in over here. Let's queue up all the dig commands in this area. I need to move the mouse cord, because for some reason it's getting stuck on my speaker. Oh, I see why. Okay, 1 second, chat. This will be a quick fix. I need this to not be in all of those, and also move over here. That might give me a little bit extra cord to work with. There we go, that's all it was. What do you see over there? The kin got up like they was about to attack something. Might have been a spider. Anyway, now that we have that. Take a quick sip of water, and then I'm going to tell them to prioritize everything that's up here. Kind of want this area to get done soon. So since we don't need anything on a 7 anymore, let's put all of this on a 6 and all of this. Welcome back from the ads. I didn't even know that were going on. Get rid of all that, not that. Get rid of this, get rid of this. And get rid of this. Welcome in, Oz! Let's also dig out this one tile so that we can actually use that ladder run. And I'm gonna queue up this side of this. I don't want to queue up all of this because they're gonna get stuck as they're digging at. Unless you do it from top down, it's a little less likely that they get stuck, from what I've seen. And just so that they can get over a little bit quicker. Now we are going to have to choose which one of these ladders we keep in, and it's actually going to be the one that I have starting to get deconstructed there. This ladder's going to disappear over time. We have Sophie over here helping with digging and building. And everyone else is kind of doing their own thing. We can dig this out and just deal with as much as we can get to. We should be able to do all of these ladders because they can get down and back up eventually. Some of this ethanol is going to fall down onto here and then just go wherever. We'll clean this up. That looks like ice, but it's not ice. Is that bleach stone? No, that's sand. Okay, how is our temperature doing up the top of the base? I don't think that's getting any colder. We are going to have to add heating to that area just so that we can get it cooled off. I said heating, but I meant to say water pipes. And is this dormant? It is. So we are now back to running on hydrogen for a little bit. Alright, we might as well connect those in so we can actually use that ladder. Should I just dig this entire thing out? I think I should. I'll do all of that and all of this. Nobody should get stuck over here. If they are, they have deconstruct things that they can do to get them unstuck. Hopefully, at least. Looks like Gino's over here digging out the abyssalite for this area. That might take him a little while. Now Sophie is over here. I'm very excited to see this area emptied out. Should we try to capture all of this hydrogen? I mean, it's 5.9 kilograms. Over here, 6.2. We could use that hydrogen. Although right here is almost 20 kilograms, so that's even more. We should be at a point that with these two geysers going, or two vents, that we shouldn't have any issues with power again. Now these both did not get heat damage. So what that tells me is I could make a large ladder or a large fire pole made out of cobalt and not have to worry about it being overheated when we turn this entire asteroid into a sauna. Which is good news. Let's come in here and mop up all this oil and all of this oil. Let's do a regular pod. Is that our last suit? I think it is. It is. Mimo gets the last suit. So now we are fully dressed. And let's do our first prediction of today's stream. So is the pod in the top left corner going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You have 10 minutes to decide. In the meantime, I want these open so I can see stuff. Can we see that this is the geyser? Not yet. Is there anything over here I can mop up? No for there. Or here. We can get those two things. That'll help the liquids transfer a little bit quicker in this area. There's oil right here, but there's no slickster, so that must have fell down. How is this doing? 134, that's good enough to me. Our steel is up to almost 4 kilograms, so we can do a few coal generators, but not the entire area. So let's just start with these 3. Then I can almost do another 2. Okay, so I need 2,400 to do 3 generators. I'll have to keep that in mind. What we should probably do is all the automation for everything that we're going to need. So those are together, and looking at this, the automation is in the center, so if I go like that, that should be all the automation for the coal. We do have a lot of cobalt for this, so let's try and connect all of this together. All the way to there. And if I look at this, this is the exit for polluted dirt. We actually want to go one more tile out. And then go up. So I want this here, and then if I could stay in that. Deconstruct that and any conveyor rail that's underneath it, and we're going to connect this all the way up to here. And that uses all the cobalt ore that I have. So we're going to have to dig out more on our way down to here. I'm going to queue up all of this to be dug. And then whenever we get to it, we'll have it. How did they do over here? They got a majority of the ladders done. They're still digging out stuff. I'm not going to rush them too much. Do want to get that stuff. Now all the ethanol is coming down into here. So it's mixing it with this ethanol. And they're slowly doing this area. Since they have the ladders all built in that spot, so let's deconstruct those. We'll get a little bit of igneous rock back from that. We still have this off-gassing. If I could have all 24 dupes come up here and do this, that would make things a lot quicker. If I were to make those plastic transfer tubes, do I even have them unlocked? I might not have them unlocked. They would be down here. I don't have them unlocked. Are they only made out of plastic? I can't look it up right now. I don't want that science done, though. Is there any science that I actually do want done while we're in here? I would need things for rockets at this point. Large solid oxidizer, we'll work towards that. We're gonna need that for petroleum. We will need this for that larger area. And we're gonna want the rover's module for sure. So that's 2 more sciences to do. And this one. And this. We're gonna get to this eventually, but I know I don't have enough data banks for that. Is that really all I have left to unlock for our story? For right now? Wow. Oh, is this a large liquid storage? Yeah, we're gonna need that. That's another thing I didn't see earlier. Okay. Let's get them started on all that. It looks like somebody was down here doing all the belts. We're also getting more compressed out of here. It's not going to run for a while now. But there was somebody over here. We're going to need power in this area for the auto sweepers. Was I going straight down? Yes. Now I, for some reason, have 2 gas pumps here, getting carbon dioxide out of this room. I think that was just temporary, then move it around to somewhere else. I'm not going to build them this time. We're going to leave them like that. Now I do have a lot of cobalt, so let's see if there's a spot that I can easily switch everything over to. Let's check all of this. I think I switched that area over to cobalt. I know this is steel and this isn't. So after the autosave, we'll start going upwards here. Let's make sure I can get to that point yet. Bring you all the way up to that point at least. We'll stop there because the rest of this is a little bit long. So that's at least the 2 saunas connected in via a heavier conductive wire. So to get everything over here powered, we'd have to go down to here and then straight over. Okay, so maybe I should plan out one more ladder run through this entire area. Ooh, ran out of igneous rock at that point. That's okay, there's some down here that we can dig out when we're ready to do that area. This area is getting closer. They're not going to deconstruct anything until they're done building everything, because the deconstruct errand is at a lower priority. But they should be getting close to finishing all that. At this point, we could start telling them to dig out this entire area because they can get to here. They won't be able to dig out this completely. So I am going to tell them to dig this out. They should be able to get all of that. In here we have gas rocket loaders. Alright, and I'm starting to get hungry, so I'm going to eat a quick snack of candy. Give me a little sugar boost. While we wait for them to dig out more stuff. That piece of chocolate may have been a bad choice. Man, my teeth hurt. Alright, with that done, that should mean that we're on to the next research. Which will be a little bit of radiation. They should be able to, once they do this ladder, they should be able to get up here and do all that. am going to prioritize everything in here now, so we can get some igneous rock back from doing all this. We'll also be getting a little bit of cobalt ore, but not enough for this to go back to being a positive number, I don't think. And we're going to be immediately using some of this igneous rock to do these ladders. But I do have to wait a little bit longer. We have a regular pod. Let's take the fertilizer. You know, with Slicky Puffs here, we could open this up. And have them go in there and drink up all that chlorine. Are they prioritizing putting the food in there? Is that why these aren't getting fed enough? If I put that on a 9, they'll always do that first. And I'm going to put this on a 9 too, so they can come in here and do this. So that should release the chlorine gas, which means that all of these guys should slowly go over and find it. We take a look at this. Oh, it's going to go down here. Let's do that on a 7. Because I don't think they're going to be able to stop the chlorine from escaping that way. Alright, and then this chlorine should get recaptured eventually and brought back into here. Are these still considered in a sterile environment? How do I look for that? Properties, maybe? That's all power stuff. So no. I don't know how to know. But that's not too important. They are very quickly going through all this chlorine. That is wonderful. That we'll be able to recapture the bleach stone. Trying to think about how we're going to feed the puffs when we start doing the ranges. Or not feed, how we're going to move all the slime and other off gases to the rooms that the puffs are going to be in. I think I might do a automatic dispenser, dropping it off into a spot that they can't reach. They being the duplicants. We still don't have any igneous rock and no cobalt, so we don't even have enough to finish this line. I'm gonna come down here and cancel that ladder run that didn't get finished. That gives us a little bit of igneous rock. That should be enough to connect this the rest of the way in. Alright, what are we doing over here? We are mopping up oil. You don't need to do that. Let the oil flow. Now what I think I might want to do is dig out all of that to allow the liquids to flow a little bit quicker. Now we're going to run into the issue that the cobalt volcano doesn't have a liquid to cool down the stuff. What is this? This volcano? Yep. Alright, and I do need to look at this to make sure that we dig up all the sand that's going to fall. Dana's doing his best to get everything out of here. Take that out. Take this out. It pushed all that oil back into one tile. Wow. I guess I should have mopped up that oil while I had the chance. Can I mop this now? I can. I probably won't be able to do this for a little bit longer. Until this drops down at least one tile. Oh, look at this. This is done too. Deconstruct that. And now it's time to place in the vent. Get all these nasty gas out of here. Put that on a 6 so they do that sometime soon. Then we can vacuum that out. Up here is vacuumed out, but we're going to keep it there. And they're still slowly working on stuff over here. So if I just keep slowly building it all in, should get this done relatively soon. That is a lot of salt water dripping down here. I might want to put that on a higher priority. How long is this dormant for? Another 10 cycles. That's not too bad, actually. Let's dig these last 2 tiles. That should allow the salt water to get out of here. And now we have this stuff. So we can probably mop all that. Yep. And we can mop all this. And then soon this oil should be moving around. There we go. And all this should be draining over to here. Eventually this is going to be up to this tile. And now we're just waiting for all this to drain down. Let's not focus on that as long. That's all the ladders up there. We're really low on igneous rock, only 400 kilograms. So we need to open up something to allow us to get more igneous rock. Let's do this. There's another research task done. Let's go through here again and make sure we have everything we need. I'm going to do telescope next, and then this, then rover. And then I think that's it before we get up into engines. So we're getting closer. They're also relatively done in this area. This poor slickster. Let's set them free. Did I just see bleachstone off gas over here? Yes, I did. This, we'll take the oxalate. Now, with this area being pretty empty, I'm gonna turn that back to auto on a 5. They can close it whenever they get to it. Combat, so that means they're coming down here to kill this one poke shell. And even without digging out this area over here, almost all of this liquid has moved down. So we may not need to do any of this. I'm just going to cancel that line there. It looks like just opening this up is enough to finish it all. Alright, with that done, I want to analyze this. I also want to sweep everything up. Because that's going to be important so that none of it flashes into dirt or something. We could also sweep everything up over here. This stuff has been here for so long. And we should probably also look to see how we're going to do coal getting over here. That's getting moved over. There is no conveyor rail below it. And we don't have cobalt ore. Too much of this stuff is important. Can't do everything all at once, but I want to. Unlock all of that. Start the next research, which is this. If I prioritize that one ladder, they should be able to dig the rest of this out. And then I could do the same here, maybe? Nah, we'll wait. So I open this up and allow it to drain down here. I don't think I should, honestly. We don't need to mop this up because it'll just turn into steam. They'll get through that soon, I hope. Alright, I think I am going to start telling them to prioritize building things on the 7 just to get more duplicants out here doing it. So if I just do all that and all this, they should get that done quicker. Because more people will come out here to do it instead of it just being 2 people doing it. We do have 3,400 kilograms of steel. So let's put in another 3 generators. I don't have any storage for the coal, so it's just going to drop. Alright, so building all this should be on the same priority as getting rid of all the debris on that volcano. There is a lot of debris here. There's 4 things there, maybe a 5th item in there. Wonderful to doing this. You know, I am just going to tell them to dig everything out now. Rather than making them wait. I don't have the line going in. What's this? No liquid output. Is it polluted water going out? Oh no, it's ethanol leaving here. Oh, I didn't realize that the ethanol leaves in a pipe. We're gonna have to figure out how we're getting ethanol out of that. That's gonna be a lot of igneous rock to get up here. But anyway, this regular volcano is apparently going dormant? I'm not sure what that means. Next dormancy is in 0 seconds. But it also says that it's idle and about to erupt in 8 cycles. So, I don't know. Now, a lot of these ladders are going to be melted away when it does go off. It's only going to be 1 ladder, so they'll be able to jump over, so I'm not too worried about it. How are they doing over here? They're doing pretty good. Now that they're not doing too much sweeping, they're able to focus on this a little bit more. They dug out all of that already. Let's queue up all of this as well. They'll do a little bit of that. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to go like this so we can pick up that data bank. 9 data banks. How much do we have? 96. We're getting pretty high on that. So we may want to do... No, we are doing this last. There's an Aber in chat. Now, I've seen Aber multiple times. Don't know if I've ever caught it. Apparently I have. Aber is a Gen 1 Pokemon. Is this still transferring? It is not. Because there is so much stuff in that area. It is still slowly transferring down here to one level, but it's going very slowly. Right, how many items are right here? Databank and salt, granite, abyssalite, sedimentary rock. Only 4 things there. Oh, this should be done maybe in 2 cycles. Unless they're focusing on up here because there's more tasks to do up here. I have no idea. Is that ethanol gas? Is that what it just said? I could have sworn that instead of it just being ethanol going down, it said ethanol gas. Well, it looks like I was wrong about that. That concerned me for a second. Alright, how many more things? That's just salt. I should be able to pick that up. There is 6 tons of sedimentary rock right there, so it's going to take a while for it to get through. All this stuff on this tile, they should be able to pick up with just one duplicate. But it looks like they're going from left to the right, so it may take a while. Alright, what I'm going to do is notice that these were all set for 7, so they should be getting done as quickly as they can. And I never actually had to look at that. Now there is ethanol in here that we can't get out anymore. That's going to be a pain to get out. How's there shine bug out here? No wild shine bugs. Let's do a regular pod for nothing, and let's do our first prediction of today's stream, and then we'll start the next one. Welcome back, Gino. Now, I don't know if you're able to make it in for the prediction, but you're at least here to see what the result is. Before I do this, we have 1,100 points in bottoms and 30 points in wallpaper. I'm gonna guess that Gino was able to get into wallpaper. Now, the last stream, I remember, we had 3 wallpapers in a row, if I remember correctly. And it's tops. So it's neither of what you guys put points in. So let's start the next one. Is the next pod going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You have another 10 minutes to decide. I think after that prediction is ready, we'll do the break for our cats. And then we'll continue going with the game. Oh, that ethanol is falling down where it should go. I really want to keep liquid over here for this cobalt volcano erupting. But at the same time, I want all of it to go over here. So I don't know what to do. They're getting closer and closer to finishing this entire area. Oh, that's obsidian? Wow. I didn't think there'd be obsidian up there. They finished all those ladders, they're about to finish these. Now they're able to get up here and finish all that. They should slowly be working on all of this. And now Sophie should be able to dig out everything up here. Which means that if I wait to dig those, we don't have to put ladders there. I just need Sophie to do this tile, and then we can dig this out. And now we can do both. Ah, she was able to dig everything out. Oh, missed one thing right there. What is that? Mafic rock. Alright, so this is getting done quickly. Did this get completely emptied yet? No, but they're getting close. Only 3 more items to pick up. And I think our next task is going to be finishing all the conveyor rails. Actually, doesn't somebody else have to do that? Doesn't a mechatronics engineer have to do the conveyor rails? So if I were to make them a 7 now, not everyone's going to come down here to do this. Yeah, it should just be Mima and Regus that are building this. It's just everyone can supply to it. Alright, that is almost done. They just have the sedimentary rock, so I'm no longer going to worry about what's on there. And we're just going to let the volcano do its thing. Up here, they're almost done that. They have one more to do, and then they're still getting over to here. They are up to this point, so they should be able to drop off everything on there as they're building it. Let's try to get all this bleach done. That's 1. 2. There's another one over here. I'm gonna guess that there's one here because there's chlorine gas stuck there. Yep. What about over here? Yep. I'm gonna guess right here as well. Yep. That's how you tell when the liquids aren't staying there. Now that is slime, but not bleach stone. There is bleach stone, never mind. Some right here, I can actually see it. Pick that up. Did I just see this move? No. Alright, they'll get that stuff eventually. Regus is very quickly getting all this stuff done. Our steel is almost back to another 3 steel generators. Oh, this area's done. Get all that out of there. Oh, this is a lot of liquid we could get rid of. Uh... Not sure what we should do. I think I might want to start prioritizing doing everything down here, aside from the conveyor rail. Speaking of the conveyor rail, we are going to deconstruct this. And make sure that all of the wood leaves the base as soon as this is built. It doesn't have to be used right away, but I want it to at least be over here. Now this volcano is completely emptied out. That's dormant. Don't we have more? We don't have that one uncorked yet. This is idle until after this one goes off. Could have sworn this was going to go off soon. Oh, it's 7 or 0.7 cycles left. Alright. This is going to keep getting oil because of that slickster. Just seems like they're doing this very slowly. No, we're also doing this. Deconstruct all that, and I'm gonna put a bottle drainer right here. This is still doing good. Now we got all the aluminum out of here apparently, so let's sweep all that. Is this going to overheat and flash? It overheats pretty much at the time that these would start breaking down due to being overheated. So I'm not going to worry about that. And we're at the point where we don't have cobalt. Okay. Let's prioritize this area too. Because that does at least have a little bit of cobalt mixed in it. Now I'm going to put all of this down one. That's another research done. Let's keep going. I don't think we're up to that point yet. No, we're not. We need this. What's going on here? Body temperature. Too cold. Why? I might need this a little bit hotter. If I were to... That is a lot of announcements that are getting off at the same time. Was not aware that all those announcements were timed at the same Sorry about that, chat. I think I might get rid of some of them. Honestly, I don't think we need all of them. What I want to do is put a temperature thing in here that will tell us that it's too cold. I'll have to go in like this. Oh, ethanol. We'll always use more ethanol. Neither one of these picks up gristleberries. What do we use gristleberry for? Stuffed berries. So let's do this here. There's a lot of food in there. Yeah, we're not going to be hurting for food anytime soon. No. Why are they glum? Oh, we don't have a critter thing in here. That whole time this wasn't even a ranch. That would explain why they're glum. Can I have this being built immediately? There's another research done already. Go in here, what's the next thing? I think it's just rockets, right? Yep. We'll do the power first, and then I'm going to click on this one. They'll just go through the line to the point where they can get to everything. Alright, they got more cobalt ore, so they have enough to finish all of this. Do they have enough? Right, for 5 tons. We can probably get the coal line to come down here. Let's first just connect all these together. Didn't even have enough to finish all of that. Luckily, they should be prioritizing all of this first. Yeah. And now there is a ton of liquid coming down here. So we are going to have to reintroduce everything over here. We'll do it one tile at a time. I am going to queue up all these critters to be killed. They'll get taken care of eventually. There's still a little bit of cobalt right here. How are they doing up here? They're not working on that anymore. That's fine. Why isn't that being built? They just haven't gotten to it. Okay. I thought for a second it wasn't high prioritized. So now they should be coming down here to dig out all of this, which is a bunch of abyssalites, so it's going to take them a while. They finally built that in, so we could tell them to sweep up wood. Let me make sure that it's queued here. It is. If I just relocate this quickly to here, I suppose. Is there polluted water anywhere else? Yes, there is. What we're going to do is sweep of all the polluted water because they are just not taking care of it. What is not able to be picked up? The Atmos suit, which just got picked up to move over here. They're also doing this, so let's put this on water. I'm going to leave it on a 5, though. It's not too important right now. Alright, let's go on another hunt for polluted water. There's some right here. I don't know what that is, but that looks like dirt or something. I see none in here. I do see water. I'll go like that. And there's some stuff in here. Are we not picking up coal from the hatches? Probably aren't, honestly. And we'll sweep all of that. It'll take them a while to do all that. We'll give them time. They did finish all of this, so we can get the wood connected in. And we have 6.3 tons of igneous rock, so a volcano somewhere off-gassed. It's not that one. So what gave us igneous rock? Volcano somewhere gave us igneous rock. I doubt there was 6.3 tons of igneous rock in here. Very highly doubt that. I am going to queue up the amount of ladders we would need to see if we have enough for all this. We do not. So 6.3 tons is not a lot. Alright. Let's get them to finish all the things over here that we're trying to build in. That includes the upgrading of the wires so we can get some cobalt ore back from that. And all of this stuff. You know what? I'm going to put all of that back on a 5. Then we're going to do construction on a 7. Wait a second. If this is all going to be open into an outside steam room, I don't need this power line here. I won't need that. I won't need this. We're just going to put steel or aluminum stuff, metal tiles here, so that the heat transfer is outside. Which means we don't need this entire thing either. We can turn all of that into ladders. Alright, we do have a tiny bit of cobalt ore, so what I'm going to do is at least connect that in before I forget to. And we're going to put a bridge here so that I have that queued up and ready to go. And then we are going to deconstruct that. And it looks like wood got moved around. It did, look at that. Okay, so now I am going to queue this up for wood. That's wad. You can see polluted mud. Why is polluted mud there? I'm gonna let it be just that amount of wood for right now, because there's a lot of trees there. And then once that's emptied out, we will continue adding this into it, and that should be all the stuff we need. Let's kill that. Is that dirt? That's clay. Let's get rid of this. And that. A little bit of sand right there, we'll pick that up, and I saw clay behind it. Alright, we'll come back and look at this later and see if it's all completed. Or all swept out, I mean. And they are getting this side done very quickly. Should probably queue this up to be dug out. Even without the amount of ladders we need. Because that should mean that they can get into here a little bit quicker without those 2 ladders being built. Most of this liquid should go to the left before it goes over this way. Alright, we have plans here. Now, I am still going to need these 2 rooms, but we're going to move them down. Why is there a container of polluted oxygen there? Queue that up to be emptied. I don't even know how we got polluted oxygen in a bottle right here. Oh, it must have been from inside the base and it just worked its way down there before we got a tile there. Alright, that makes somewhat sense. Oxalate. This is going to be set up for polluted dirt. Because that's connected in. And we're just waiting for all that wood to get picked up. Now actually, since this isn't getting filtered, we could just set both of them on. And they'll just get worked out eventually. I do want to make sure that these are all set up correctly, so I'm going to wait for a moment. Okay, those are good. And then it's prioritized here. Then they should go every other as they're coming through this. Yeah. After it gets the backlog out of here, it will be running non-stop, or it won't be running non-stop. They're still working on eggshells and all that. We're now up to 7.1 tons of igneous rock. So somewhere we got more. This area over here is ready to be mopped for all the oil. So let's get all of this oil back and all of that oil. Now this is bringing more liquid to the left, so I'm gonna have to watch to see how long they're sitting in this tile. We just want all the oil out of here. Cancel that. And mop that tile. Once somebody comes and mops this, we're going to take our break for the kittens. And I have switched where they get fed. If you can see, their mom is on the floor right behind my chair. And where that box is where I started feeding them, so that when I am home from work and I get up to feed them their breakfast, I can go back to sleep while they're eating, instead of feeding them while on the bed. Alright, is there anything else that they're doing that I should probably look over? That could be done. I'm gonna let the game run while we're doing this, so let's see if it is part of the other scene. Let's try and get the rest of our food set up. Now this is gonna take a lot of cobalt ore. We do have 8 tons of it at this point. 8 tons doesn't seem like a lot to me though. So let's take a look at the pictures again. If I go to this one, I see all the power that I'm going to need. Let's build in all the buildings first, and then worry about all the stuff connecting them. So I need conveyor loader, need an auto sweeper that can reach the ladder on the right. That's going to be right there. We also need conveyor shut off facing the left. Conveyor thermal sensor right there. Make sure all this is cobalt, because we don't need it made out of steel. And that should be all the buildings in this area. So now if I look at the power, we just need to connect these two together, and I guess just go straight up. Now, I need to know how much power this is going to take. 240, 250, plus an aqua tuner. That can all be on one line. What am I looking for? Aqua tuners, utilities, thermo, steel. I put that there. That's going to be required for cooling all this down. Looks like one of the kins is completely done eating. Now two. Alright, so we are going to need a bath here. For the amount of water that we're going to need for the aqua tuner specifically. We're going to carry this line. Oh, I thought I placed it at the right spot, but okay. We will just go like this. Continue going straight up. Made a mess, why? Daughterly. Why did you make a mess? Alright, while we are here, let's do our second prediction of today. There's another made a mess. Where's all of our water? It's another power issue. Because this isn't getting power, the power itself. The natural gas, at least, is starting to get back to us. Once this gets filled in, we'll have natural gas power. So I am going to wait here to make sure this gets filled in. That's at 5 kilograms. We almost made it all the way here. Right, let's continue focusing on this, I guess. First, I am going to try and clean up the plates a little bit, so give me one moment. Actually, I'll let this keep playing. There's only a little bit of food, so I'm gonna wait for Mama to finish it. Alright, and now to move the camera. Got the plates out of the way, give me more room. Okay, that should give you guys the most view of the kittens playing. How is there oil right here? Alright, water pure. What is not being swept? Eggshell. Don't worry about it then. Are we getting water supplied yet? We are, but it's going straight into here first. Okay, now it's starting to go up to the bathroom, so we should be getting them fixed. Fixed. Which should mean that we're gonna stop having bathroom issues. So I'm going to now start sweeping everything. All of that, please. All of this. This area. Oh, that's another thing to keep in mind. We're gonna need to put oil in here just so that the liquids stay up. And we'll do all of that. We have nothing in the middle section, which I'm surprised about. Let's go down there. And then all of this. We didn't get all the mopping done, so let's do that. Sweep that up, sweep this up. Clean the bathroom. Clean the bedrooms. They mopped all of this really quickly. Okay, they did all of this. Let's just go like this. Who is trapped? Did Willow trap herself? No, it was Regus. We'll just deconstruct that for now, and I'm gonna cancel this one. What is off-gassing here? There's a little bit of bleach stone all the way at the bottom. And now there's oil in here. Alright, how are the liquids over here doing? They're all mixing nicely. Good. This haven't... It went dormant. Okay, I thought that was going to give us a bunch of stuff, but it didn't. Oh, we're going to have to worry about the conveyor rail being melted. We'll figure that out later. What I am going to figure out now is mopping all this up. And also getting rid of all of this. What's not being getting rid of here? Water. That's an easy thing to get rid of. And I want to relocate these guys out here. That's not all. This is... what's this waiting on? What is even in it? Coal. 1,000 grams of coal. And it can't go anywhere because I took the conveyor thing off. So let's join you down to here. That should give a little bit more space to move stuff to. We still have wood being moved, and this area is almost done. What about the area up here? Oh, this is getting cleaned up very quickly as well. Look at that. Alright, let's continue building more of this area. First, gotta clean up all that and all of this. Actually, just to that point, because there's more to dig. Next picture is all of the water. Now, in here, we don't have to use... Yes, we do. Never mind. I was going to say we don't have to use radiant pipes, but I actually do have it queued up as radiant. So I'm going to first queue it up the same way that I have it in the picture, and then we're going to change it. So I went like this, because when you get to here, it covers everything. Now that is actually all the aluminum we have, so we have enough. But what I'm going to do now is figure out how we're going to reorganize the pipes for the usual aquatuner setup. So if I go like this and go down, that's not being made out of igneous rock. Igneous rock, please. That was being made out of igneous rock, okay. So I can go down. I go... down, up. I want to see where this would lead. It would lead to here. Kind of looks like the best setup for this would be to have it go out the same way it comes in. So we might want to just rotate this around in a way. So if we're going this way now. That would be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And since it's closer, we'll go to this one and go that way. So that's all the water. Now we have automation, which is an easy... two things of automation there. This I want set to anything above 25. Is there anything else I need to do in this spot? Oh, the conveyor rails. Duh. We're gonna probably use the rest of our conveyor, or cobalt, to do this. We're gonna follow the water all the way up to here. Into there and out. And then over here, we're just gonna connect it back in. And we have this here. At some point, we're going to need a bridge out to give it a direction to leave. And I think I'll do that right away. Give it the direction. Let's give 2 pieces just so I know where the end is. Alright, let's clean up all that. And I think the easiest way to fill this would be to just bring a pipe all the way down here and just have it fill in automatically. So if I do this right, or I guess the quick way, deconstruct those and this. We'll put a liquid emptier thing right here. And we'll have the liquid just drip in here, fill this up first, and then go up further. That way when we come up here, we don't have to worry about it dripping in before we have this filled in. What I am going to do is dig all of this because I want to get the debris out of there. And how did they do up here? They didn't mop everything, but that's actually pretty good compared to what they usually do. Let's get the rest of that water. I'll also mop that area because they're walking through water to get there. They're still taking out the polluted water, that's fine. And is this picking up any medicine? Yes, it is. We need to cancel that. Congrats, Gino, catching the Hoppip. Alright, I am gonna have to stop this from picking up coal until we have the coal being supplied all the way down here. Steel. How much steel do we have? 7.1. We can probably do all of the steel generators. And we could look at that. Alright, that's not what I want. I want to know how much of this would we need. So we're gonna have to subtract 1 from this. So 41 times 100, that means I need 4,100 cobalt, and we only have 3,005. So we need... Welcome in, Raiders. Give me 1 second while I set this up, and then I'll say hi again. If we go right here, we'll be able to get up here and dig out all this, so let's prioritize that. Welcome in, Raiders. For those that don't know me, my name is Coded. On this channel, we're doing a story of playing every single one of my games in an order that shows off mankind's progression through technology. We did a chapter on medieval games like Mandalords. We did a chapter on modern city builders like City Skylines 2. And now we're in space travel. So we're doing Action Not Included as our primary game. We're getting close to being able to do our side games. We have a few more things to set up before I can start the Somnium Synthesizer, but once we do that, we're going to be doing a bunch of multiplayer games. So if you guys have any of them downloaded, we'll do them. The whole thing with the side games for this chapter is that they're all dreams. So we're going to pretend like we're watching a dream of one of the duplicants. Regis, how are you? How was the end of your stream? Did you get scared? Did you kill everything? Tell me everything. Right now, we are working on getting a Sulfur Geyser set up and ready. We're also doing... Welcome in, Sophie. Sophie, did you know that you have a duplicate named after yourself in here? You had once told us to name a duplicate just the word dupe, and you're playing with the curtains, so you get to go. So, a while back, Sophie or Gino spent 500 points to get a duplicate in here named Dupe, and now there is a second duplicate in here who is named Small Town Sophie. And I am looking for the bleach stone that's hiding right here. So we now have Gino and Small Town Sophie as our 2 diggers. There's another thing of chlorine here. Where is it? There it is. I saw you. Get over here. Get that out of here. 3 names for dupe? I don't... So he's not allowed? Yes. I don't know if you actually wanted 4 dupes named Dupe. We do have a bunch of unnamed dupes. So here's Dupe, the first one it's Sophie actually named. And then if we scroll down further, we have Amy. Is this actually doing it in the order that they're named? Wow. Sophie's all the way down here at the bottom. So I guess this is when we acquired all the dupes, not the order that they were named. So we do still have Lyra and Abe. There should be like 6 or 7 dupes if anyone wants to name a dupe. No, they're all called dupe. I don't know. We need cobalt. Did we get enough? We did get enough. Why can't they reach this? Good, it's 1 tile too low. If I put a ladder there, can they get to that ladder? They should be able to. Build up. Anyway, we have enough to bring all the coal in here. So we're gonna go up here. We're gonna build that. Let's put this on a 7. And I am now gonna close one of my tabs because I am still watching my own stream through Regis. And that I can also get rid of. That was me uploading stuff to Twitch. Alright, this should not need a gas vent, but it does need the pipes bringing in petroleum. So we're getting close to having a petroleum boiler. We'll just go like that for right now, and also like this for right now. And that is all of our igneous rock already. That's not good. Let's just go like this and sweep out everything that's in here. You're uploading things while also streaming? Yes, yes I was. Building melted. That was probably a ladder due to lava. Yep. So we have some igneous rock coming once this cools down enough. We'll have some igneous rock right there. And that's going to keep flowing down here. At some point, all this is going to turn into igneous rock, I think. You know what? If I was smart, I would put this in a pool. I'm going to do that. But I don't want it to get stifled, so how would I do this correctly? Because if I fill it with liquid, it'll stifle and then not produce igneous rock. So we're not going to do the pool system. Never mind. We do have this. Regular pod. Ooh, a little bit more ethanol. We should have a prediction to go for. So this is our second prediction of the stream. We still have one more to do. So luckily Riga's joined in before the last prediction. You guys can join in on it. So this one is for 169 points in bottoms and 30 points in buildings. Ooh, and it's bottoms! Congratulations to the people that chose bottoms. Who was it? Who did it? It was Arblaine! Congratulations on winning 30 points. What are they doing behind me? What are you doing? They're just being weird with that box. I don't know if you guys can see them in the box next to the bed. But anyway, next prediction. Is the pile on the top left going to be tops, bottoms, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? To go over what we had so far, we had gloves and pants. So that's both tops and bottoms. You have 10 minutes to decide, and after that point, we will do another opening of the pod. Alright, let's check this, make sure I did that. I did do this. That's the prioritized stuff. We want this at a lower priority. That's on 90-70. Doesn't this have to be 70-50 and then this would be 50-30? Or did I switch this to being that? Ah, I switched this. Let's turn that down to 50. And just like that, we have 5 tons of igneous rock ready for us to use. So how are they doing over here? They should be doing this before anything else. We have another thing of prediction, or not prediction, science done. They're doing the next thing for the petroleum engine, so we'll get that ready. Pretty soon, we will be exploring more of this. Now, I already know the entire map, what it looks like. And I'm not going to spoil much, but I am going to tell you what we're going to. So if I open up star map here, we are going to be doing together Temporal Terror. For me, it's the first time. I've never opened a Temporal Terror. I know where that is. We're also going to have to go to at least one asteroid for Sleet Wheat. If we're lucky and I remember before we go to it, we'll be able to choose the one that has the thing that opened the Temporal Terror. Because I know there's 2 planets that have Sleet Wheat. One of them has Temporal Terror, and I don't remember which one that is right now. But anyway, if we get out of there. Is M for star map? No. Okay. Never mind then. Let's keep looking at this. They're almost done, the pipes there. I'm not sure if anyone's coming over here to sweep these out. It seems like they're not. This, they can't sweep up. This is going to have to be relocated to here. I'm just going to put that on a 7, make sure they do it quickly. What did they just build? They just built something. I have no idea what it was. Did they finish sweeping out the base? No, they have fluid over here again. Someone peed in this suit, and I blame Regus. And this was water. They're going to be switched to oil. Because they're not going to be able to empty this out quick enough. If we put water in here, then all the polluted water is going to go to the bottom every time they pee in the suit. If you put oil, then all that water stays up top. And you don't have to worry about cleaning out your thing here so it doesn't off-gas. Anyway. This should be up and running now. Which it is, so we're getting our automation stuff set up again. This should be doing a 50-50 split between the 2 layers, and then doing another 50-50 split between the generators. So they should be getting an even distribution of goods. This, we can actually deconstruct all of this. We don't need to get in there anymore. Chlorine's never going to be hot enough to melt this, and I don't think the polluted oxygen does either. We should probably dig over to it so that we can take a look at it. So if I go there, we need that at least to get up here. This is a bunch of igneous rock, so I'll take all of that. Hello, paintbrush. Are you coming over to watch the game? I'm trying to do this in a way that we have something to walk on the entire way. So we'll just do that, and I think I can see the geyser if I do those tiles. I don't think I need to dig out over here. We can't take this tile away, or else we uncork the geyser and it starts off-gassing. And I think it's called a hot polluted geyser, or polluted vent. But I don't think it shoots out very hot stuff. That's cobalt ore we can get to. If I go like this and like this, we should be able to get it. Where you going? Better not play with that current or I'm going to spray you with the air. I think they're just going to go lay down. Alright, we are still bringing in wood. That's down to only 3 spots. Up here is down to 4 spots, so we're almost done bringing in all the wood that we have inside our base. And that is bleach stone that needs to go inside our water area. Should probably sweep all that stuff. Because that's wood that we could use up in here. And now that we got all the chlorine out of there, we should be filling this more with carbon dioxide than we were before. There's a Rabombi in chat if anyone's a little, I think the best way to describe it is just a fairy. It's like a little bug fairy. And I think that's what the types are of the Pokemon. I think it's bug and fairy. Now that we have a grooming station, we should be getting more... We are getting more sun bugs. Okay. That's almost full ranch now. Let's pick up that polluted water. Sweep up everything that's in here. We have gristleberry right here, so what we're going to need to do first is get this polluted water out of here. That doesn't off gas, so I'm going to leave it there. But what we want is to queue this up to have gristleberries, because that is an ingredient for the oven. So this is our ingredient storage, this is our finalized food. Alright. They did pick up all of that. That's good. Alright, what's next? This area is getting pretty filled in by coal now. We can get rid of the stuff up here now. We don't need any of you. Or you. Or you. I think that's it. Alright, we're gonna have to work out where we're gonna put a debris room to chill stuff that's inside this area. We're gonna need it connected to our base. And I'd rather have it at the bottom, but we have two things in the way. So we might want to do something to fix that later on. I think we'll worry about it later. Okay, how are we doing with stuff? We have not a lot of cobalt. I think that means this is dormant. It's not. It's about to off-gas. This is dormant, though, so that explains what's going on. When does this go dormant next? We have 41.5 cycles before the next one comes back. And this goes dormant when that comes back. So we pretty much have one cobalt volcano going at a time. They're still doing this. We can block this off now. Hi. What are you doing? You guys can't see him yet, but this is one of the male cats. This is the gray tuxedo on my lap now. What are you doing, little man? You gonna lay on me, or are you going somewhere else? Hi. They're laying on me. It is almost time to get the kittens fixed so that they don't... Oh wait, they can't build those and get rid of these. Alright, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna deconstruct these two tiles so they can still get rid of this. I forgot to make sure that everything was out of here first. I just really want to fill this with water and get it over with. Wait a minute. We can just have this set to everything. What am I doing? Alright, we need a way to get water down here. I am going to do a temporary situation over here. So this... Rotate that. We are going to do not igneous pipe. Going down. But I do want this to connect in these things. Now, I want this done first, if I can do that. Wait, actually, if I disconnect that, then they don't get mixed together. Alright, get rid of that. This should get emptied very quickly. There we go. It's already emptied. So if I reconnect this and put a bridge here, grab this, we can bring this all the way down. Yep, straight down. We'll go to here and then bring it straight down again. Alright, we can also deconstruct more of this. And this is going to have to get moved. So if I put that there, then we need to go another 2 tiles down. Deconstruct that and that. This eventually is going to be one big metal roof. Put those ladders in so they can have a way to get over here again. they should be able to do all of that relatively quickly. Let's dig this out so we can get the gases up and out of here. Actually, that's not going to work. Yes, the water is going to push the gas up, but it's not going to push it out. Because we're going to stop it about here. Alright, is there anything else they are working on? They did all of this already. We have 11 tons. We could probably do another line of this. And while we're here, let's actually deconstruct some of these ladders. Don't need you, or you, or you, or you. We have a way up to here, so we don't need this. Everything else we should need in order to get up to this specific top. Let's see if we can do this whole thing. If I pause, we go all the way over. That leaves me with not very much igneous rock left, so we're not going to do this until we have quite a bit. We'll let the volcanoes stock up on igneous rock. You know, I just thought... we can't get cobalt because there's too much liquid right here. So we actually need to get more stuff coming through here. I didn't think that this could get overpressurized by liquids. I just realized that. And this should be able to still transfer more fluid. It just is stuck because there's so much oil right there in that spot. So if we dig out another line of the tiles, we should be able to get in there. Now we do have the last prediction ready. We're going to wait until near the end of the stream to open that pod. We have about, we'll say a full hour left before we start finding out who we're going to raid out to. Bristleberries, we'll take that. Now that should get picked up immediately and put into here. Which I think it did. And this is picking up wood from our storage area. So that should also be getting combined with all of the trees up here. And that was the wood from right here. Let's get that out of here. That's water. That's water. Did they clean out the base? They did. I don't see any polluted water spots anywhere. Alright, I think it is... oh, they put something in there. I think it's time to get rid of some critters in here, so we're gonna wrangle all of them first. And then I'm gonna kill them all. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to get done, I'm going to have a Kit Kat break. The little bite-sized ones. For some reason, these do not open very well. There we go. That was the weirdest way for you to get up here. You couldn't just get up here just like your sister just did. You had to climb up a weird way to get up here. Come on, keep going. You guys can't just stand right in front of the computer. Go! Keep going. Keep going. Is this broken now? It is. I now need to cut this because they chewed the end of it and... Oh, there it goes. Never mind. I just wasn't pushing hard enough, I guess. Alright. Do we still have oil that we can use? This is probably the easiest way to check. If we just scroll down here, it will tell us if we can put any in here. We do have... I don't know how much that is, but I'm gonna guess it's 2,700 grams. Which you can put in there. That should be getting done. We can automatically start this once... Actually, let's put this here. We can open this up once this is full of water. Ooh, the water should be coming down now. Look at that. Okay, so it's doing a 50-50 split coming up here and also going downwards. If I wasn't worried about the bathroom staying stocked up, I would just cut it off and let it all flow down here. But then again, it's going to go into here secondary, actually. Unless they build this now. There we go. Good job, Regus. Now it's going to fill this loop before it does anything else. And it should be 10 kilogram packets. Which it is. Nice. And I am going to disconnect here so that it doesn't put the water in here. I want this to backlog. And then fill in all these spaces with the extra water. And now that it's done, I'll connect it straight in. What are you guys doing at the bottom of my chair? What are you doing? I see you. Alright, now we just need to wait until this gets up to full tiles and then 750 up here. That is what I wrote down in my notes. And then... we don't really need to put a roof on this. We're gonna wait on that. Let's get that oil. I guess that was a slickster that died over there. I don't think I can... oh, I can mop some of this. I don't think I'd be able to. Did I do that? Oh, I can do that too. Look at that. Alright, so this will slowly get filled in. We should be doing better on power, but we did just run out of natural gas. There's a mouse hold in chat if anyone wants a bunch of mice. Alright, we're gonna go on a little exploration to try and find some other liquids. I do actually want to get ethanol connected in. So if I do this the way that I was expecting, actually, I think I'm cooling it down before I use it. So the ethanol has to come up to here at least, which is where all of our bridges are. So let's just move some of the bridges down. We're actually going to need to bring in 2 different bridges. Because I need to also bring in petroleum on this side. If I do that and we disconnect here first. I'm gonna queue up how all this is getting connected in. So if we go like this, and like this, then we run into a little bit of spaghetti over here. And I don't think these are taking any liquids. This definitely isn't, because it got too cold somehow. But if I turn this on, it's just going to turn on this. So what I want to do is find out where the temperature is the least in water. It's really cold in here for some reason. Alright, let's just plumb that until it's done. So, if this room is below 35, or if this water goes below 35 degrees, this should turn on, allowing the pitcher pepper nuts to grow. Now, I'm not too worried about them because they're only used for these as far as I can remember. So now that we're plumbing this, we should be getting heat introduced to the area. And it's probably dispersing that heat as quickly as it's coming in. Actually, it's taking a little long to heat up. I'm surprised. We're gonna let that ride for a little bit. Over here we need to do the same system. And then I think I just need to move this down one line. So if we go like that, we'll be able to get the salt water moved over. And then we have more room over here. Now I do see that the polluted water is getting moved, so let's do that. And it looks like the salt water moved at least one packet. If I do this, that should empty. What are you guys doing? They're getting in trouble, chat. What is this being made out of? Igneous rock, okay. What is this being made out of? More igneous rock. Alright, should I sweep all this? I probably should. I don't know if we're ready for that, though. We'll take nutrient bars. Is this done one tile? No, it's about halfway, though. This should be transferring liquids. But it's not, because this stuff's still here. So if I were to grab one of these, just put 2 ladders, they should be able to dig that. Alright. Where are we picking up wood? We're still picking up wood from here. This is almost done. When this finishes emptying, that's all the wood that's in there. I'm guessing this is close to being done. Not really. That's picking up tons of wood, literally. But this is actually empty now. Why is this turned off? Oh, there's no power. We're having another power issue, which means we're gonna run out of water at some point. Are you dormant? No, it's just idle. Because there's not enough power to turn it on. I need a way to prioritize this. I don't know how to do it. We have steam turbines going, but that's not enough to keep this going. You have too much liquid. I'm gonna deconstruct this and put it in a bottle emptier. No, these don't have power to do anything up here. This does have enough, so I'm going to turn this on. And cancel this. Why is it going in at 50? Is that really how hot this water is? It is, wow. Okay, that should be fine. That should keep this up pretty well. The chlorine in here is almost out, so we're almost ready to put a ceiling on top of that. We are still making steel to have a backlog of. Is this about to off gas? It already did. Okay, so that's definitely what was going on over here. There was too much water in here. It stifled that volcano. Although we only have 4.5 kilograms. That's 300, so I don't know if this is still too much water or not. I'm gonna guess that it is. Let's dig out another line of here. Oh, this is gonna bring us all the way down. I'm okay with that. It'll go down to here and then they won't be able to do much more. Unrefrigerated food. Because they can't do anything with this. Because we need power. And this just isn't getting any power at all. Alright, we're gonna have to do something temporary in here. We need to have power going into this at all times. In the future, we won't have that issue, but for now, we're gonna have that issue for a while. Four cycles, still dormant. Do we really only have those 2 volcanoes? I mean, I guess we do, because we'd have more if we didn't. Alright, I'm not sure what to do while we're waiting. We're now up to a second layer of water. This is going to be set to all standard. How is this getting filled in? I think they stopped doing it. I'll worry about that later. We need igneous rock so that we can do the pipe all the way over here. Because they built everything over here. We can deconstruct all of this, but it won't give us too much igneous rock. Alright, they're doing a little bit of power over here. That should at least try and get us to build the power into transformers, which will then turn this all on. I probably should have another another generator over here just to turn this on. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to come over here. Let's connect the battery into this as well, because this guy's going to keep running forever. Sorry about that, Meemaw. Do all that, all this. We can connect this back in because for some reason we didn't before. How are they doing down here? They dug out a majority of it, they're just waiting for ladders to get over there. And I highly doubt there's a... Oh, there's igneous rock right here. I was gonna say, I highly doubt that there's anywhere we can get igneous rock. Oh, stuff right here. Probably from the volcano going off. Let's get up to here and get this cobalt. Three there. That'll be all the cobalt in that area. We have a Draco right here queued up to be killed, but they're not. So I don't know what's going on with that. We're almost out of ores. We really ran through all of the coal that we had? No, we didn't set this up to be picked up yet. So if I turn that on, now we're getting the coal out of here automatically. Once this is ready. Oh, we were also using power to do research. How many more data banks do we have? One. That's okay. As long as someone's in here running on this, that should get this emptied out. And then this will never get stifled. This is going to take a while before it gets ready, but with it staying hotter, we should be getting power from this more. And then someone could try to power this, which would get the natural gas out of here, which does more power than the hydrogen. As far as I know. How do these work? Natural gas does 800, hydrogen also does 800. Okay, never mind, they're both the same amount of power. We use water, ethanol. We're gonna do ethanol because we want all that extra food stuff. And let's come over here and put a bottle and starter. We are going to get rid of... Oh, trapped? Why? Gina, how did you even get in there? I don't know. How's this doing? We're almost at 700. We're getting close. I need this out of here. I'm somewhat rethinking how we're powering everything over here. If I were to move this ladder over one, deconstruct all of those ladders. Put a tile right there. Which means I need this deconstructed. We're gonna put a transformer next to this aqua tuner, which means I actually need to go like that. Deconstruct all of this. We're gonna deconstruct these ladders. Or those tiles, I mean. And if we go back in here, let's deconstruct this and cancel deconstructing that. Or disconnect, I mean. Because we are going to go like this and just go straight up and over. That way this is tied into the main power grid and not on a transformer, which may not be powered all the time. How's this doing? We're at 800 now. We went up at least 200 since the last time I remember looking. This is still overpressured. Alright, they did all of that pretty quickly. When is the next volcano going to erupt? 2.5 cycles. That still says that there's a lot of cobalt, but there isn't right here. Okay, with more liquid over here, let's dig out the next line. We'll try to get even more of this out of the way so that we can get down to here. I feel like there's another... oh, the igneous rock in this area. But it's going to take some time. I would start this oil reservoir, but I don't think we're ready for that either. It should be close to overfilling. They're now digging out everything they can reach. And I think this little critter is going to die just from drowning. It does look that way. Alright, I was saying we need to get over here to get to this water. Let's start digging over. Unlock more of the asteroid. This was so that we can see how hot this is going to be. And I can't see the geyser at all. Let's dig those out. But how is this at 5.6? Oh, the oxygen's in the way. The fact that there's oxygen is separating the pressures. If we got rid of all the oxygen, then all this would expand or combine, I guess would be the better way to describe it. Now that didn't seem to move much around. In terms of all these liquids, they should be falling down more. So I'm going to keep going. Especially since they are able to dig out all of that now. We're going to get some igneous rock from down here, so we might as well just dig everything. Alright. They almost did all the ladders up here before they moved down. Fluffy's down here digging out everything. Looks like Gina's slacking off now. Let's... Insufficient oxygen generation. Why? Because no water is going upwards. No, all the water is going in here for some reason. No, the water's going up. So hopefully we don't have a bathroom issue. Because there is water being supplied to it. I'm just making sure that this gets backlogged. Alright, they did pretty good. I am going to go like this for a moment. Because we should have a ton of oxygen in here. 8,000 kilograms. And up here, not much hydrogen, but we're actually not relying on that for hydrogen. Or we shouldn't be, at least. We have no power going through this area. We're running solely on other things. Put the pincher prop back in. Get rid of that sun nymph. Or shine bug, I mean. It looks like they brought over shine bugs over here and then the eggs hatched or something. Actually, no. Raw egg only comes from cracked eggs. How did that happen? And this is getting full of carbon dioxide because we forgot to put this back in. Okay, we have somebody running on this, which means that we're getting natural gas getting produced in here. Once it reaches all the way over, it should be powering everything enough. One could hope, at least. Doesn't look like it's reaching all the way over. Hey, no, it's actually getting there. Never mind. Alright, that should be getting us close to having power. How is the water down here doing? We have no water going through that because nothing is coming through over here. Do we need an uh-oh proof thing over here? I think we do. There we go. Connect them straight in like that. I need all of that on a 7, please. Yes, I know toilets are having an issue. We have no water getting supplied to them. We wrangled all the critters up here and then never killed them. I just remembered that. Oh, and all the oil. We can stop this now. Yeah, I knew a mess was coming. Let's put in our pumps here. And we're gonna vent all this out. We're gonna have to find a new way to power this. Actually, let's just connect in here. Just like that. Oh no. We very much need all this set up. So we still have a power and bathroom issue. And all of this should be going down there a lot quicker than it was before. Oh, here's the other volcano. I was looking for that and I couldn't remember where it was. Now we have 64 tons all of a sudden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue up all of these ladders before we go and do anything else. We don't need that. Because I want this area to look like it's completed. And then a little bit of ladders right there. We'll just go down. We'll go like that. Actually, we don't need ladders there. Let's go like this. We got all that messy stuff. We're gonna ignore all the messes except for when it's in here. Why are they peeing over here? Why were they even in here? Now there's too much liquid in there again. Everything bad is happening. Alright, liquids are going. You... Not important anymore. Go, just go up. Over here is almost done. We might have enough in the pipes to finish that area. This is more important now. Let's get the bathrooms all sorted out, and then everything else should be going up to here. There should be a little bit of power left to turn these on and get some hydrogen vacuumed up. Apparently there was not. Alright. Time to break a pipe, or break a power source. Are you serious? That's not enough to turn this back on? Let's go this way then. Steal some power from that. That should at least get some hydrogen going through it, yes. And after that, you can take this off. A little bit of hydrogen should be enough to kick on some of these things. And as more goes through, we'll have this going even further. Or going longer periods of time. How is the power on this at least going? It's almost enough to have all three transformers going. Oh, we also moved stuff around over here. If I do that, that should start moving around. Starvation, that's wrong. You have food here. Alright, let's mop more stuff. That all done. Bedroom's cleaned up. Luckily, there's nothing in the fish tank. There is a lot in here, and for some reason, there's a tile right there. Let's also mop all that. Once they dig that tile, we can mop up all the polluted water that's in here so it doesn't keep off-gassing. Surprisingly, it's not. There it is. I knew it was going to happen eventually. Can I have this prioritized, please? Because they're up here digging this out, which is fine, but it's also not what we need done first. Deconstruct everything in there. Did they do the tile? They did. Mop that up, please. How is the hydrogen doing up here? It is now all the way up to the top, so it's going to back up pretty soon, giving us a little extra more power. There is a Draco all the way up here. How it managed to get up there, I have no idea. How is our hydrogen? You also need a backup thing. Okay. Let's get that good started. I didn't realize how many different things are set up together to give us a livable area. And I don't think this is gonna be able to supply water anytime soon. So Jugal's gonna be running on that for a long time. This is never gonna get backed up. Actually, it was. This one should get backed up. So long as the aqua tuner's not being used. Now we're getting all the oil out of here. Can I mop any of this while it's doing that? Oh, I can mop a bunch of it. And I'm going to keep this here just in case there is a gas that goes in here by accident somehow. Oh, I saw a flicker of our kitchen. We're starting to get our kitchen back. How's our hydrogen? Do we have it coming downwards yet? We kind of do. What is this for? We don't need this anymore. Oh, did a little too much there. Let's get all that stuff back. We might be able to use it for something later on. That was probably to fill this pipe. I am going to tell them to dig out all of this now. They're doing a lot of mopping over here, so I'm going to keep bringing that over to the left. We might end up just mopping everything out of this area. We have 11 tons of steel already. We don't have all the chlorine out of this room yet. We take a look at this. We have about... we'll say 3 tiles, because this is still flashing between chlorine and carbon dioxide. So we still have to fill that tile and then 2 more before it gets up to here. Once it gets to this spot and it's actually doing this flickering back and forth, we'll turn that into steel. Grab this again, bring it all the way over as far as it can. I'm I'm also going to go down the staircase. You know what? Is there anywhere else? We can get all that, apparently. We're going to keep working our way out of here until we get all the oil picked up. That'll also allow us to go downwards to get more igneous rock. Although we don't need igneous rock. Why did I think we needed igneous rock? And how is this area doing? I think it's good enough that we can bring more water downwards. How is the wood doing? We apparently emptied out all the wood, including in here, or it's because we don't have power. I think it's because we don't have the power yet. And if I take a look at the water down here, we're only at 420, so I am going to connect this back in. Since we have a bunch of igneous rock, let's do this stuff again. So, ethanol goes in, ethanol comes out, petroleum goes in, petroleum comes out. Since petroleum's coming out there, it could just go straight across and come down and just be completely out of the way. And then the ethanol, I guess, can just bridge over and then over again into here. That works for me. Deconstruct all that. Now I need to figure out how ethanol is getting up here. I think we're going to do a double bridge system there. And have the ethanol prioritized over that spot for the moment. Let's connect this all the way in. And then this is where we have to figure out how the ethanol is getting over there. We're going to need to bring the ladders over. And this is annoying me. Bring this all the way down to there at least. It's going to have to go a lot further down. This is going to be disappeared at some point. This comes over. And that's all the igneous rock. So I'm going to not do this line. We're going to keep that in case we need to use it for something. How is this doing on liquids? We're not at 500 yet. This on a 7, please. We're not doing combat, so I'm guessing we're getting all of these guys. We'll do some lime there. Apparently we're still doing research. That would be using up a bunch of our power. We're only doing radiation and databanks, but somehow we had 80 points of databanks there. I'm not sure how we managed to do all that. Oh, we had the volcano erupt again, so we should have igneous rock. We do. Let's go in here. That is queued up. We need to go down from here. I'll let the autosave go off. And I need the ladder run right below. Oh, that's not igneous rock anymore. Alright, so what we're gonna have to do is just dig that and this so we can reach in here. Okay. Is it time to start doing blueprints of temp shift plates? I think it is time. What do we have an overabundance of? Well, we have a lot of lead, but that would probably melt. We have even more sedimentary rock, and it's thermally reactive, so that means it transfers heat quick. So I think we're going to be doing that for a while. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to do like that. I don't want to create a new blueprint. I just want to do a temporary one. Does it take snapshot? Oh, one of my earbuds just died. Let's start charging that. And then if I take another snapshot of all this, I can start going like this. And I'm gonna click there. That was too far. Luckily, neutronium does not transfer anything. And we can go right over top of that volcano. I am ignoring the ladders. So for everyone that might be thinking, why am I not doing in between? Yeah, we are keeping them on top of each other. If I went here, here, we'll start here and go to there. We are now getting into space. So there's going to be a few things that I have to deconstruct. Go to here. In that spot, I'm going to be coming back to cancel out some of these temperature shift plates. So if I went here, that brings me to this point. So that I can see where else I need to bring these. And we will do up here. There's enough room to do it. I have no idea how much this is using. It's being made out of sedimentary rock. Let's take a look at... Is it said? It is said. Let's keep an eye on that. Because I should... Oh, we lost the blueprint. Down here. That'll be the easier way to get the whole thing. It should tell us that it's using it as I'm queuing it up. It is. Okay, good. And I'm going to slowly creep over to this. That's going to be a lot of temperature shift plates. We definitely are going to need to dig out more. Imagine if that was all the sedimentary rock in this entire colony. Okay, I'm gonna press play. I should probably put all of that on a 4. We don't want any of this done anytime soon. We also need to cancel things we don't want built. Because it gets too close to outer space. That stuff should be fine. I just don't want the shovels coming in. We have the middle of our base powered again, which means that our filters should be going. Not too sure what's going on right here. Oh, it's all this stuff coming downwards. That makes sense. But if we're able to get rid of all of this coal, then this stuff would be able to move. But we're still having power issues. It's going up, that's also going up. They're both tied into waiting until all of this is all emptied out. Okay. Not a lot. Kind of a lot. Are there any kittens at my feet? Paintbrush is near my feet. I don't know where the other two are hiding. Where are the other two? Oh, one's on the beanbag chair. So the other one's probably with their mom. This is going to take quite a long time. I think I might want to get to a point where this can run without me watching, and then just have it running in the background. Now that would take a lot of time and push us over a lot of cycles. So we might end up giving up on this. I'm actually going to set all of that to a 1. Make sure they don't do it anytime soon. I'll leave these here because they're already doing it. I'll stop looking at that. But anyway, this is where we're going to leave it. We're getting close to having ethanol running so that we have nosh beans, which means we'd have another thing of food unlocked. But we're also still running into power issues. We do have the coal generators currently running. That's kind of keeping us above 0 on power. Which should mean that this stuff is staying powered. If we're lucky. It looks like it is. I don't know for how long it's going to stay like that, but for right now it's doing fine. So when we come back on Monday and Thursday, because I have a safety meeting on Wednesday, we will be finishing this pipeline. Oh, whoa, this might be overfilled now. It is overfilled. Cancel you, please. So the reason why this was supposed to be at 750 is because we're going to have liquid sulfur mixing in with this, which is going to probably move the water around a little bit. If I deconstruct this and then have someone come over here and build it back in immediately, should be able to get that filled in. I also want to know if I can put a gas pump in here. I can't right there. It's going to have to be put there, and then we'll have to figure out how we're getting everything out of here. But if I do that, and then we just wait here for a little bit, I need this done immediately. It's not being done immediately. Okay, deconstruct this again. I thought I could get it done quick enough. We have somebody slowly building it. Is this enough water to not be displaced, though? You know, we're gonna run with it. I think that might be enough. And over here we need to do a liquid lock. Unusual. Power supply stuff. Get this, put that there. We'll put water in here so it'll get done quickly. How's our cobalt doing? We have 6.4 tons. Is that enough to get this all connected in? And now my headphones have completely died. Could we run off of this? I just make sure that they can get through here. From here, I'm gonna go down. Wait for the long autosave. There we go. I'm purposely going down an extra tile. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be here. And we can deconstruct that later and know that it's not what we wanted. Dig all that out. Let's see how much of this I can queue up. So if I go to here, we can go a lot further than I thought I could. Can I go all the way to this ladder? No. Cancel to there and see if I have more. I do have a little bit more, so we're getting close to having that powered in. If we were ready, I would use the lower watt wire so that we could have it connected in immediately. But we don't have that ready for us right now. Deconstruct all of this pipe. And this is a one-way bridge, so I want to delete that, flip it around. We just got more igneous rock. No, we didn't. 32 kilograms is not as much as I thought. We want to look at tons, not kilograms. Can I power this to have this ready, please? Where is this getting a water from? From up here. That makes sense. Erupts in half cycle, and you should be dormant until another 25 cycles, pretty much. Now we get to see the water geyser. And even more Weezeworts, wow. We might not need to do radiation stuff anymore. They didn't finish mopping all this, that's because we weren't looking. If I do that, they should be able to mop up all the oil now. Alright, let's call it here. We're going to zoom out, take our screenshot of our almost completely emptied out asteroid. If I do that, there's a screenshot. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.